not going to comment on message board chatters, tweets, sources. I've maintained with you and our team that my complete focus is on the task at hand. Last week, people were tired of me because I couldn't win the big game. People had me meeting with my team and telling them that I was going to another school, none of which were true. Now this week it's a different story because we scored the second most points in the SEC this year at 49. So, all of this stuff is just a distraction. I would like to remind everybody, including our fans, we absolutely love Mizzou. We love what we're building. We've been to 6 straight bowl games. We've got the sellout streak going. Our administration has been nothing but phenomenal to me. The alignment that we have with our president.
Welcome back to Southeast Sports Plus here on a Wednesday. Coach Eli Drinkwitz has been square in the middle of a lot of the chatter around some of the open head coaching positions. And there are some marquee ones. I know that Virginia Tech has already been filled, but still others that are out there and open. Coach Drinkwitz and company, as he said, put nearly 50 points up this past week. And next thing you know, he's the next hottest guy out there, laying down the hammer, not necessarily saying that I'm staying, but also coming down and saying that we love what we're building here. This is a really interesting scenario here, Patrick, because I think that with Coach Drinkwitz, he understands, I think, something that you've been saying for a long time, that he has the cachet at Mizzou to be there for a long time. And all he has to do, in my opinion, is look at what Indiana's building and understand that he doesn't have to leave Mizzou. You have the talent there, you have the cachet, and you have the buy-in for everybody else. I'm actually on his side when he is defiant about wanting to leave or about possibly leaving, because to me, his job is as good as any other, and he's proven that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think he will leave because I think he really does like what he's doing over there in Columbia, the other Columbia. I think he is really starting to build a program here at Mizzou. Now, the only thing is, could he understand now maybe like, hey, I keep on trying to win here, but now I've seen the last 2 years, I kind of have the talent.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I kind of had the talent
Right.
in Luther Burden,
Yeah.
but could not get over the hump. This year, kind of had the talent in Ahmad Hardy and Bo Prabula, but Bo gets hurt,
Yeah.
and then it's just Ahmad Hardy now, which, I mean, and just we talked about what he did this past weekend.
Yeah.
Just absolutely incredible.
Yep.
I feel like that could be the only thing that if he comes to the realization, it's like, man, I'm really trying to win here, but I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Then I could see him leaving, but
Right.
I don't think he's ready to make that decision yet.
Absolutely. I think that for most places, there was once a thought that there was a ceiling, and there was a ceiling on a place like Missouri. There was a ceiling on a place like Mississippi State or Ole Miss in this pedigree. There was a ceiling on a place like Indiana, and I just don't think so anymore. And these coaches are now proving it. And to me, whenever you have laid roots in those areas, and you also, because Coach Drink, keep in mind, Coach Drink was on Auburn staff that won a national championship. Mm-hmm. So it's not like this guy who's never been to the mountain. He's been to the mountain, so he's like, okay, I know what needs to be in place in order for us to get where we need to go. I've been at those places, and Missouri has that. And I think that if you're a Missouri fan, you could rest a lot easier this week understanding you have a coach that has that mindset going into it.
Look, I mean, they destroyed Mississippi State last week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely destroyed them. Ahmad Hardy had an incredible game, and they're putting all that money into the stadium to do all the renovations on where the lawn side was. Now that they're adding, I believe they're adding bleachers, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like a ghost town right now. But, I mean, Mizzou is trying to put money into the program, but a lot of programs are also saying, hey, we need to start putting money in too. So there's just so much money going around. And, I mean, yeah, the house settlement's going to help a little bit, but I just don't see it still being fully capped, if you know what I mean.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is a Missouri team with a really interesting game coming up as they'll play Oklahoma, looking to play a spoiler and, continue to try to elevate where they're going to go play in the postseason. You heard Coach Drink. They've made 6 straight bowls, looking to make a 7th bowl coming up this week, coming up this season as well. And they had one of the best running backs in the country, as you said, in order to do so. Have a good athletic program overall, good basketball over there, good baseball over there, and good football there as well. And we've talked about our staples here on the show.
Yes.
We have top 5, we have overreactions, and we talk about something that we do every now and again, and that's what we're going to uncork this time.
Yeah, so we're going to do trivia. We haven't done trivia here in a little bit. I
Yeah.
have one question here, and, all of this coach talk has got me thinking, what is the record for the most head coaching vacancies at once in the SEC?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would think that it would have to have been when there was 14 teams. I remember there was a time. Oh man, it had to be. I'm thinking it had to be early Nick Saban at one point, because I thought that everybody was firing.
Early Nick Saban.
Yeah, I think everybody was firing their coaches all at one time, and you had some that are let go, some mutually let go. And I can't think of.
Keep in mind this is not only just firings, but also because coaches take other jobs and retiring. Yes,
correct. I'm going to go. I think I want to go like 2008.
2008, and you want to take a guess at how many were open?
I'm going to say probably 5.
Well, you got one of 2 right.
Okay, what I get
2017. Right? But 5 were open in 2017. Arkansas, Florida, Tennessee. Tennessee fired Butch Jones. Texas A&M, and Dan Mullen took he left Mississippi State.
That's right. Wow.
So I think, in my opinion, we are on pace to break that this year.
Okay,
because there's 4 open already.
Right. And you heard Colby talk about possibly if they finish 5 and 7, if they lose their last 2 games, maybe.
Or possibly one of these 2.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so would it have, if they go, for example, let's just say Drink goes to Penn State.
Oh man.
That would make it 6. But if Lane goes from Ole Miss to Florida, it has one open, but it also closes another one, another vacancy. That is really interesting though, because we have seen a lot of cross-conference, interconference changeover here over the last few years. I remember Will Muschamp. He had a crossover there. He was Florida's coach for a while, South Carolina's coach for a while. And you just have had that. I 4 open right now, possibly 5, and a possible 6th. That could be really interesting. And like I said in my overreactions, there is a lot of talk about Sark.
Yes.
There is a lot of talk about Sark.
What is going on right now?
I have no idea.
But seriously, who do you think is more likely to leave, Lane Kiffin or Eli Drinkwitz?
Oh, and I mean,
it seems like an easy question.
Yes.
On the front.
Right. Okay.
But then again, with how much Lane has been trolling everybody.
Yes.
Elite levels of trolling.
For sure. Elite levels of trolling, number 1. But also, 2, I think I have no happiness meter, but I'm going to put a happiness meter on both these guys.
Yeah.
I think from a happiness standpoint, Coach Drink is a little higher than where Lane is. Lane is, of course, super ambitious. He wants to win a national championship and everything else. And both guys are highly competitive. But what I'm saying is that, like, I do remember, I think when I think of Lane Kiffin, I think more of his days when he was on the West Coast, bigger city. I just think of Lane as being bigger. And I think that this is a good resting place for him at Ole Miss. But to me, and that's a great picture to tee this thing up. And I don't even know where I'm making these connections. But something to me about a Florida coach that wears a visor, that's loud, that has an offensive mind, that has a playbook that's super long, super creative. That reminds me of Steve Spurrier, and that reminds me of Florida, and that reminds me of what I think Lane Kiffin would be perfect walking into. Now, you could look at Eli Drinkwitz and say, well, he also has a visor, and he also has a nice offense as well. And I would get the parallels. I just think that I think Lane to Florida is one thing. And call me crazy. There's one other option I think that.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I'm thinking. Let me put odds on this. I'm thinking like 1 in 300.
Oh.
How about Lane back to the NFL? How about Lane to the New York Giants?
Oh, brother.
And get right back with his quarterback in Jackson Dart. Get with Malik Neighbors. Get with a really talented defensive line. Get with Cam Scatterboo in a place where if you win there, they absolutely love you. And unlike Ole Miss, unlike Florida, where you have to continually change your roster, he doesn't have to be the transfer portal king anymore.
That's true.
He could just be the free agency king.
But here's the thing. His personality resonates with college people so well that it's just impossible.
Yeah.
In my opinion, impossible for him to leave. And I know all the talk is around, his family went to Gainesville. His family was spotted in Baton Rouge, which we'll go to after the break, see what happened there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Kim Mulkey said, Lane Kiffin was, he was at the game the other day, like stuff like that, just trying to add to the trolling.
I love it.
But Ole Miss fans, I think you don't have to worry until he says they'll have to carry me out in a pine box.
Yeah. As soon as he says that, he's gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
And he might be gone to Auburn. It might be Florida off the list, LSU off the list. He might do exactly what Tubbs did and take his talents over to Florida, especially if he says that. We talked about Drink earlier. Missouri's got a big one coming up this week against the Oklahoma Sooners. Coach Drink talked about the matchup.
Yeah, being familiar with Coach Venable's defenses at our time at NC State going against him, they've always been very multiple, very aggressive. They do a great job of taking away what your strengths are and trying to get you to play left-handed. This defense is no different. They've got elite players, elite defensive ends. I think both the R. Mason Thomas obviously is an exceptional player, and they haven't had him. They didn't have him last game, but Taylor Wynn, number 44, jumps off the tape the way he plays. Kendall Daniels, the transfer from Okie State, is a tremendous player. Robert Spears-Jennings at safety and Boganowski are like heat-seeking missiles looking for contact. So I think it matches their style. Coach Venables always talks about having a 4th-and-1 mentality. It feels like their defense matches that intensity at all times. So it's a tough challenge. I think their defensive line, obviously with the emergence of David Stone, has been really critical for them. They're better in the trenches, I think, than they've been in the past, and specifically because of R. Mason, Taylor, and David.
So good stuff there from Coach Drinkwitz. He laid down the hammer early that he might be possibly staying there at Missouri. Big one this week that could spoil a lot of chances there for the Sooners to make it to the college football playoff.